look at the headlines. I think the tone of the headlines, whenever people talk about Meghan, they never have a positive word to say about her. She has done a lot of good, but none of that ever gets commented on.
Is she serving herself? That seems to be the thrust of the
good she's done.
Yeah,
For me, she has inspired quite a lot of people of colour, because who would have ever thought a woman of colour would ever make it to the palace? And people treat Harry as if he's an idiot. This man is a grown man, and he is, I'm hoping, the man of his house. And at the end of the day, if he wasn't happy with what she was doing, they would have those discussions. But what I'm not happy with, it's just the tone of all of this. It's very distasteful. The UK, Britain should be a better place. The way this country has attacked her has been absolutely disgusting.
Hello everyone, welcome back once again. So the UK MP Paulette Hamilton didn't hold back, and the moment has quickly become one of the most talked about defenses of Meghan in a recent media disclosure. So speaking live on the air, Hamilton delivered a sharp and filtered response to what she described as disgusting coverage of the Duchess of Sussex by a section of the UK press. So her words struck a nerve, not just because of their intensity, but because they echo what many viewers, supporters have been saying for years, that the narrative surrounding Meghan has often been unfair, exaggerated, and deeply biased. So during the broadcast, Hamilton challenged the tone and consistency of media reporting, questioning why Meghan continues to face such relentless scrutiny long after stepping back from the royal duties. She pointed out that criticism often goes beyond normal public interest and crosses into something far more personal and at times harmful. For Hamilton, this wasn't just about one individual. It was about accountability in journalism and responsibility media outlets have in shaping public perception. So what made her intervention particularly powerful was the clarity with which she reframed the conversation. Instead of focusing on the usual controversies often tied to Meghan's name, Hamilton emphasized her achievement, her independence, and the strength she took to carve out a new path outside the construct of royal life. So she highlighted Meghan as a woman who has consistently used her platform to advocate for meaningful causes, from gender equality to mental health awareness, despite facing intense criticism along the way. So Hamilton's remark also, resonate because they tapped into a broader shift in how audiences are engaging with royal coverage. Increasingly viewers are questioning traditional narratives and demanding more balanced, nausea reporting. So in calling out what she described as disgusting treatment, Hamilton effectively gave voice to a growing frustration with media circles that seems to thrive on integrity and to thrive on negativity, particularly when it comes to Meghan. So at the heart of her message was a call for fairness. Hamilton made it clear that criticism, when warranted, is part of the public life, but what Meghan has endured in her view goes far beyond that. So the repeated focus on her personal life, the often harsh interpretation of her action, and the lack of equal scrutiny applied elsewhere all point to a pattern that deserve to be examined. So by raising this concern live on air, Hamilton ensured that the issue could not simply be brushed aside. For many supporters of Meghan, this moment felt validating, because it wasn't just a defense, it was recognition of the imbalance that has defined much of public conversation about her. So Hamilton stance suggested that it's possible to challenge entrenched narrative and push for a more respective fact-based approach to storytelling. And in doing so, she positioned Meghan not as a figure of controversy, but as someone who has shown resilience in the face of sustained pressure. And there's also a deeper layer to this discussion that Hamilton subtly brought to light: the interaction of identity, expectation, and public perception. Because Meghan's experience within the and beyond the royal family has often been shaped by factors that goes beyond her action alone. By calling out the tone of media coverage, Hamilton invited viewers to consider how bias and what consciousness or not can influence the story that are told and the way they are received. So since stepping away from royal duties, Meghan has continued to build a life defined by purpose and independence. Through her project, partnership, and public appearance, she has demonstrated a commitment to creating impact rather than simply maintaining a title. So Hamilton defense underscored this reality, shifting the focus away from controversy and towards contribution. So the reaction to Hamilton comments has been swift, and with many praising her for speaking honestly in a space where such honesty is often rare. So social media in particularly has amplified her message, with clips of the exchange circulating widely and sparking renewed conversation about media responsibility. For supporters, it marked a moment of clarity, a reminder that public figure can challenge narrative rather than simply accept them. So what stand out most about this moment is not just the criticism of media, but affirmation of Meghan herself. So Hamilton words painted a picture of a woman who has endured scrutiny with dignity, who has refused to be defined by headline, and who continue to move forward with purpose. So it's a perspective that often gets lost in the noise but remain essential to understanding Meghan's journey. So in a media landscape that often prioritizes sensationalism, Hamilton's intervention serves as a powerful counterpoint. It challenged viewers to think critically about the story they consume and the assumption they may hold. More importantly, it reinforced the idea that fairness and respect should not be optional. They should be the standard. As the conversation continues, one thing is clear. Moments like this have the power to shift narrative, even if only slightly. So by speaking out, Paulette Hamilton didn't just defend Meghan, she opened the door for a more balanced and thoughtful discussion, one that recognizes both the challenge Meghan has faced and the strength she has shown in overcoming them. Thank you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.